Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. And today we will be focusing on the peak pose Warrior 3. Now there are multiple warriors, there's the 2, there's the 1, there's the 3, there's other types of standing poses. Warrior 3 is a balance, very powerful, very strong, accessible, not too difficult, but not too easy. There's also modifications for it. The purpose behind this balance is that it helps us to strengthen our legs. It's a real strengthener of the legs and our ankles, which balances are, but specifically our calves and our thighs. But it also is, it kind of gives us this feeling of being not only physically strong, but also emotionally and mentally strong. And even if you don't quite get it, it's all the preparation that goes into it. It develops muscles in places that we're not used to developing muscles, especially around the glutes, which tend to become very weak. From lack of use, that's what it is. And also core strength, which we will be doing as we lie down on the ground and we do some of our abdominal work. Very powerful pose. And so we will get started, take a moment here, and I would recommend for a few stretches, if you need a strap, grab a strap, a block for using blocks, 2 blocks, for some of the stretches as we stand up, or a block to squeeze between the legs for doing our abdominals. Not necessary, but just in case of. So sitting up tall, let's connect with our breath. Let's take this pause for a moment, feeling into our bodies as we connect the body and the mind. And as we do this, I want you to bring your mind's eye right down to your tailbone, feeling into the earth, rooting down, and as you root down, lift up. And as you lift up, bring your shoulders towards your ears, roll your shoulders back, and lower them down. The whole idea of strength includes softness. The two go hand in hand. It's very much like vulnerability, showing our vulnerability, but also that is actually part of being strong and courageous. Those two seem to be opposites, but they're not. You need, in order to be strong, to be vulnerable, to expose vulnerability, you really need to be strong. So this is what this whole class is about. Strength and softness, strength and showing our weaknesses. That's what another way of saying it. The opposite is our weaknesses, which we all have. Things that we would like to improve upon, or areas that are kind of lacking, deficient. And everybody has those. So let's deepen the breath. Let's feel that wonderful sense of lifting up and feeling connected, but also alive and vibrant. If you happen to have been sitting a lot and you need to feel awake, you will feel it with this class. Let's gently open our eyes. Let's come off of our seat and onto our backs. And take a moment, stretch through the arms, stretch through the legs. Feel the sense of opening, lifting, stretching, all those wonderful things that you do in these stretches. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock and roll from side to side. And then from here, hug your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg on the ground, as if you're standing on the ground with that left foot. Flex it. Now from here, this is where the strap might come in handy. Place it on the ball mound of that right foot. Or as you see, I'm not even using a strap. Just take your right hand, those hands behind your right leg. And let yourself stretch here. Feeling into the tightness behind that knee, behind the thigh, behind the calf, or the calf, not behind the calf. Oh, geez. Okay. So from here, take your left hand on your left hip. Let that right leg open to the side. Either both straps in the right hand, or just your hand on the big toe, or on the foot, or on the leg. And let that leg open wide while still keeping your left hip bone down, your left sit bone down. Pressing through that left heel. Turning taking your your tops of your thighs, turning them slightly in. This way you're actually in the shape of the standing. Lower your shoulders down, and then inhale, lift up. Lots of explanations and details in yoga classes. Hug your right knee into your chest, because it's about precision to some degree. And then hug your left knee into your chest. Little rocks from side to side. Precision, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just so that, helping you to understand where things go. Place your right foot back on the ground, right leg on the ground, as if you're standing on that right leg. And now you know what to do. Extend your left leg, either with a strap on the ball mount of that left foot, or the hands, feeling into the backs of those legs. Press it, kicking through that right heel, the leg that's your standing leg, and engaging those muscles. Twisting your top of that right thigh in. It's not going to go far. There's not much place far it can go. But just enough to just kind of tweak it. Take your right hand on your right hip bone. Keep that right hip bone down without having to push it. It's just more of a, let me check in, see if it's going to lift. And once it does start lifting, that left leg doesn't go any further. May come up a little bit, and feel into that inner thigh, the adductor muscles with the ADD, the abductor with the B are the outer edges of your thigh or your hip. Soften the shoulders down, then inhale that left leg up, and then hug both knees into your chest, little rocks from side to side. And then place your feet on the ground. I want you to, I'm going to grab my block, because I always try and find a way to just add on to my abdominals, especially if I'm not new to these abdominals. If you're new, I wouldn't even add the block. Feet flat on the ground, knees pointing up. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows angle in. Let your head soften down into your hands. These are Ana Forrest abdominals. We're going to do a few of these. Take a breath in, lift your head and shoulders up, elbows angle in towards each other. They're not out to the sides. They're actually squeezing in. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone up. Your tailbone's lifted here, like a bridge. And exhale, elbows reach up a little bit higher, looking, elbows towards the ceiling, looking towards your tummy. And then inhaling, lowering the tailbone down, and just coming to the upper part of your shoulders. Keep your head up. Holding the breath, lift your tailbone. As you lift your tailbone, you're working those deep muscles. There's a space between the ground and your tailbone. And then exhaling, you lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. You look towards your navel. And then inhale, lower the tailbone down. Now you could stay here. You don't have to lift your feet up. If you're new to this, then just keep your feet down. If you're going to follow me otherwise, tailbone, bring your legs to a 90-degree angle, elbows still angling in. Let your head drop down for a moment. Press your lower back into the ground to begin, and then inhale, head and shoulders lift up. Elbows are always angling in, and they're reaching upwards. Lift your tailbone up, exhaling, elbows reach to the ceiling. Now you could either keep your legs as they are or straighten the legs to a 45-degree angle. Push through the ball mounds of those feet. Then inhale back to your 90-degree angle, lower the tailbone, and then come to the upper part of your shoulders. The tailbone's very difficult to lift in this shape, just to let you know, so you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. Lift the tailbone up. Maybe with the exhalation, elbows definitely lift up, but legs might straighten forward. And then inhale. Let's take a pause here. Let the elbows soften down, take the feet down. Just take a moment, take a breath in. We're going to do one more step, which with the legs up. And then now lift your legs up to the sky. Now this might be too much for you. So just keep your feet on the ground. Do what we've been doing the whole time. Just 2 sets of these. Reach through those legs, reach through the ball mounds of those feet. Taking an inhale, head back down to the ground. Inhale, elbows, head and shoulders up. Holding the breath, tailbone lifts, squeezing those legs towards each other, and exhale, elbows reaching up. And then if you have a block, it just adds a little extra. Inhaling, lower tailbone, lower upper shoulders. One more time, holding the breath, lift your tailbone up, squeeze the block if you have it, or legs together. Inhale, elbows reach towards your feet, look towards your belly. I know I keep looking up to my feet. I'm sure everyone's doing that. And lower the feet down. Release the hands. Tomorrow, in my next session, we'll do the obliques with Ana Forrest. Let's take the block from between the legs, hug your knees into your chest. Little rocks from side to side, and place your feet on the ground and place your arms next to your sides. We're going to do some bridge flows, just 2 sets. Walk the feet until they tap the tip of your middle fingers. The feet are slightly wider than your hip bones. Now arms start next to your sides. Take a breath in. Arch your lower back. Exhale, press the lower back into the ground, and then lift up, starting with the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back. And you can add on to this. Inhale, float the arms back over your head until the backs of the hand touch. Now, some of us are really tight in the shoulders, so this isn't so easy. And then exhaling, I want you to lower down, starting with the upper part of your back and working your way down to the middle, the lower. If you find this difficult, let the arms float with the flow downward with the back. Otherwise, inhale, float the arms back next to your sides. So you alternate. Taking a breath in, arching your spine, and then exhaling, lifting up, starting with lower, middle, and upper. So this counters the abdominals we just did. Squeeze those legs together as if you have a block between your legs. Then inhale, maybe add the flowing arms. Reach the arms back. And then lift up a little bit higher with the hips, and then exhale, lower down, starting with the upper part of your spine, the middle part of your spine, and finally the tailbone. The lower back is not completely off the ground, and then inhale, float the arms all the way down to the sides. And just take a pause here as we've worked these muscles, and then hug the knees into your chest, and then cross your ankles and see if you can roll all the way up to sitting, and roll over to one side and spin around and come onto your hands and knees. As you press back into your child's pose, reach your arms forward, stretch through those arms. Taking a breath in. So starting to think in terms of strength, legs, strong, power. Inhaling into your tabletop. Exhaling, curling the toes under. Sit back into your extended child's pose with the toes curled under. Stretch the arms forward. From here, I want you to take a breath in and slither, 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 slither forward as if you're a snake until finally you place the forearms down there underneath your shoulders and lower your pubic bone to the ground. Taking an inhale, pressing the big toes into the ground, the thighs, and exhaling, lifting your heart forward, looking towards your thumbs, and opening up the front of your body, softening the shoulders down. Taking a breath in, lowering all the way down, forehead touching the ground. Slide your hands next to your chest. Curl the toes under. Pull the tummy in and up towards the spine. So navel towards the spine. Push up into a plank maybe. You can also not go into a plank. You might go straight into your child's pose. Otherwise, follow me, downward dog. So there's options here. Downward dog or your extended child's pose with the knees down.
Downward dog is a great pose if you're pretty strong in your wrists. You have to work your way into feeling comfortable here. So if you can stay in downward dog, stay in downward dog, but let the breath flow in and out. Inhale and exhaling. Let it out. Let all the tension out. Now, either from your hands and knees or from your downward dog, I want you to inhale your right leg up behind you or up to the sky in what we call three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep your right knee forward, knee to nose, and then hinge forward until your shoulders or rock forward till your shoulders and wrists are in line, and step your right foot between your hands. Bring your left foot in a few inches, flatten out that back foot. Fold over your front leg. So this is where the blocks might become a friend. Okay, give you a little bit of height, or hands on the ground or hands on the shins. Fold over that triangle. That pyramid. This is called pyramid. So I want you to feel into the back legs and the front legs, taking an inhale and then exhale. Bend your right knee. And then lift yourself up, just roll up, coming into your warrior one. This is one, this is not the 3 version yet. And as you're going to take your hands on your hips, hips are squared forward, back toes are turned to the front right corner of the mat. Feet are open, hip distance apart. And I want you to take your hips and make sure they're squared first. Both heels are pressing into the ground, ball mounds of each big toe is also, and then reach your arms up to the sky. Take your hands behind your head, interlace, elbows opening, and I want you to push your head into your hands. And then feel, as you do that, you're going to notice the back heel is working a little bit harder. Make sure your right knee is over that right ankle, not beyond the ankle. And then take an inhale, release your arms down. Place your hands on the ground and step your left foot forward, forward bend. You're at the front of the mat. Shake your head no, shake your head yes, and then inhaling. Let's slide the hands up the shins or on the fingertips on the ground. Inhale halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. Let's inhale, sweep your arms up. This is called a swan dive or swan flow. And then hands together, float all the way down, dive down, forward bend. Letting yourself fold for just a breath here. Inhaling, feeling into that stretch while you're still rooting down with those feet. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling halfway, exhaling, forward fold, and inhale, sweep your arms up. Half sun salutation, reach up, root, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart as the hands come to your heart as I squeak, forward fold. And then inhale halfway. This time exhale, step back, downward dog. Or that extended child's pose. I'm going to stay in downward dog. You can stay here or follow me. Let's do a plank. Let's hold the plank. Make sure wrists are under shoulders. Tailbone lengthens down, looking towards the ground. Crown of the head reaches forward as the heels press back. You can always knees down or up. Let's hold. And then exhale, downward dog. Or you can do this from your hands and knees. Just go forward and backwards without lifting your knees off the ground. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling, plank. So working these legs, knees down or up. I'll show you the down knees version. And then exhale, press back into a downward dog or your extended child's pose. From here, take your right foot in towards your left foot. Inhale your left leg up to the sky or behind you. Or do this on your hands and knees. Sweep your left leg between your hands. I actually should have stopped you there. Knee to nose, hold, and then step. Okay, walk your back foot in a few inches or so, maybe a little bit more, until that back foot is flat. You can bring it even closer. Back toes are pointing to the front right corner of the mat, so they're on a little bit of a diagonal tiny diagonal, about 45 degrees, maybe even less. And let's fold over your front leg. So this is where the blocks, again, are helpful. Hands on thighs. And breathe here. Feeling into the backs of those legs. Firing up those legs. Now from here, bend your left knee. I want you to float up, coming into your standing position. This is our warrior one. You might have to bring your back leg back a little bit. Make sure your left knee is directly over the ankle. Hands on your hips. And just square those hips forward. Get them straight. Make sure your both feet are planted, rooted down. Take a breath in. Root down first and reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands behind your head. Let your head rest in those hands. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, push the head into the hands, hands into the head, opening up the chest a little bit. This should feel good for your spine. After rounding your shoulders. And feel the back of your right ankle, the Achilles tendon probably speaking a little bit. And then take an inhale and exhale, bring your hands back down. And then step forward, forward fold, come into a forward bend. And then inhale, halfway slide the hands up the shins, exhaling forward fold. And then inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, rooting down and rising. Exhale, hands to heart. So what we're going to do here, we're going to step, I'm trying to think what we just did. Oh, we're going to step your right foot back. Instead of coming down, we'll go from standing. So now we're in a high lunge. Your back heels are actually up. Make sure we're going to now move into our peak pose, which is our warrior 3. Option, you can have a chair in front of you. You can put your hands against the wall, have a wall to push into. So you watch me first. So you're going to bend, you're going to keep your left knee bent, just directly over the ankle. You're going to lean forward, shift onto your left leg. Arms actually, and hands start in front of your heart. Take a breath in. I'm going to move back because I have this plant that gets in my way. And then you're going to lift up into your right leg lifts up and back. Right foot is flexed. Toes pointing down as if you're kicking back. You're going to feel lots of activity here, and you're looking down towards the ground. If you fall a little bit, just hold on to something or come back down and try again. Hands at heart center, or if you feel pretty comfortable, then arms reach back or forward. Breathing in. There's lots of leg stuff happening here, I know. I can feel my legs. Take an inhale and then exhale. Place your right foot back next to your left and shake it out. Whew. Okay, now we have another side. You're going to start at the front of the mat, step your left foot back. Is this right? Yes. I don't want you to do the same on the other leg. So we're starting in our lunge. Make sure you have space in front. Now you know what to do. So what you're doing here is your right knee is bent just above the ankle, maybe even slightly behind the ankle. Hands at your heart center. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, lean forward, shift your weight onto your front leg, lift your left leg off the ground. If you can't lift the left leg off the ground, keep it on the ground. Just play here. It's not that important. You get it. It's just a time to play. Try and get that back flat. And if this is okay for you, then reach your arms back or forward. Forward, much more challenging. Back, less challenging. Heart center, just perfect. And if you fall, you just place your hands on the ground. And then place your left foot next to your right foot. And take a pause. Shake them out. Shake out your ankles. Heart rate starts to speed up. Ankles are speaking. They're telling you, I'm weaker than I thought.
Then let's just sweep your arms up to the sky. You're at the front of the mat again. Exhale, forward fold. And let's step back, downward dog, and then onto our knees. Press back into child's pose. Take just a breath here, one full breath. Let it all out. Powerful, powerful pose. That standing balance. The strength, the legs, the core, the arms. It's an all body strengthener. Come, walk your hands towards your knees, come onto your right hip and swing your legs forward. And then slide your bottom to your heels. And I want you to lower yourself down. Reach forward first. You can straighten your legs or keep your knees bent and lower yourself down slowly. Notice if you've been doing this a while how much easier it's getting. You don't find you can take a little bit extra time to lower down. Then reach the arms away from the legs. Stretch through those legs. This should feel nice, this stretch. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, just keep your left leg where it is. Just place your right foot on your left thigh, left hand on the outside of that right knee, right arm out to the side like an airplane wing. Cross that right leg over your body. Bring it all the way over to the left. This feels good on your lower back. Your right shoulder can come off the ground. Doesn't need to stay. It's simply about stretching out your spine. Just a slightly different spinal twist. If you like the traditional one, you can always go back to whatever feels good for you. And then come onto your back. Unless you want to take longer, you can take longer with these stretches. Let's bring both knees in this time. I think we could all use a good stretch in our spines. And then let's extend your right leg on the ground and take your left foot on your right thigh. Take your left arm out like an airplane wing, right hand on the outside of that left leg around the knee, and then help that left knee drop to the right. A little bit of a crossing over, and maybe turning your gaze to the left. This one in particular, this balance, I find much more harder for some reason for me. The arm balance is a little bit easier. So it's just learning about yourself and areas that need a little extra work, areas of weakness, as I said earlier. One more hug into your chest, and then extend your legs into your Savasana, ready for your rest. So certain postures will be harder for you and easier for me, and vice versa. And let yourself melt into the mat. Let it go, everything. No more. No, you don't need to hold on to anything at this point. Let the breath relax. And take the next few minutes just to be. And as you continue on with your Shavasana, I will find my way up to seal our practice for this session. This interesting one. One that some of us need extra work on. I'm speaking for myself. I definitely haven't done that one in a while. But it's good. It's good to do different things, isn't it? It challenges your body in different ways. And your mind and your frustration and all the things that come with it. As I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal the practice. So the mantra, I am strong, I am powerful. Even even with our weaknesses and our vulnerabilities, just acknowledging them is the starting point of being even stronger and even more courageous. Not only to ourselves, but to others, and to laugh at ourselves. That we are these beings trying so hard just to be right, but you know what? We'll never be perfect. We'll never be perfect. And nobody wants to be perfect. Nobody really likes it. Thank you for being with me, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely day or evening whenever you're watching this. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. I'll see you soon. Namaste. And please subscribe. Just all you have to do is take the button, and it's on the right hand side of the screen, and comment and thumbs up. Namaste.